this is Chris from Chris and Cars, and welcome to another video in my search for maybe a change from a Megatron to an all EV car. Today I'm going to check out the Kia e-Soul, the brand new Kia e-Soul. I got an appointment here at my local car dealership, and I'm going to test this. Oh, can we change? Could we? Oh no. I cannot. Okay, I'm going to test out the new e-Soul. In Denmark, we are not going to have a lot of demo cars for the dealerships to try out. They don't expect to sell a lot of cars in Denmark, and the interest is not really that big for that car. I can see I'm part of a forum here in Denmark, and there's not much activity about the e-Soul compared to the e-Niro, which is much more hyped and people were much more looking forward to. The e-Soul is like, and I think it's mostly because of the design. So today we are going to talk a little bit about design, but first, let me sum up where we are. In the e-Niro video, I talked about that there are like 5 different EVs that could be an option for me. The Leaf, and it's because of the range. I need minimum 450 kilometers of range, so I can go a 300-kilometer trip without charging. I do that sometimes, and I don't want to charge on those occasions. When I go on holiday for even longer trip, it's fine. I can I don't mind stopping and charging, but I need at least 300 kilometers real range and on a motorway on an EV. So the Leaf is an option, but the Leaf is not an option anyway, because I cannot find a proper driving position because of the lack of vertical adjustment of the tilt adjustment of the steering wheel. I cannot find a suitable driving position, so it's a no-go for me. The Leaf is a no-go for me. I know there are a lot of people who like Leaf and probably can sit okay in them. I can't, and I won't look at a car that I can't use or don't feel comfortable in. Then we have the Kona. The Kona is actually, if you look at the value for money, the Kona is the best EV car at the moment, no doubt. The price, at least here in Denmark, the price is the lowest, and it has tons of equipment for that price. The range is pretty good. It drives actually rather well. It's not Model 3 driving, but it's really a nice car to drive. The problem for me with the Kona is the back seat space. That is a big issue, and so far, well, it's a bit out. It's out of the five I can choose from. Then we have the e-Niro. We looked at that in the last 2 videos, and I really like the e-Niro. It has plenty of room inside the car, and it has an okay boot space, and of course everything else, range and yeah, it drives okay. It's not fun to drive, but it's okay. Then there is the Model 3. Actually, I just came back from Rotterdam, where I went this weekend with some friends, and then we visited the Tesla store in Rotterdam. So just to sit in the car to figure out, can I get a decent driver position in that car? And yes, I can. And the seats felt really comfortable. Of course, you have to drive in the car, not just sit in at the dealership to be sure, but it was a nice experience, and the car looks nice, but it's Tesla, and there are so many uncertainties about Tesla at the moment. The stock, the cost of the shares are really down. It's gone below $200 last week. And I don't really know about the economy in the company. And also the build quality is, they still have really big issues. So, and you cannot get cool seats and some of the other stuff, the Niro, the Soul, the Kona, not the Leaf, but the 3 others have. So maybe I might end up getting a Model 3. I don't know for sure yet. It's in some ways it's a fantastic car. In other ways it's really so I'm not really sure about that. made sure I got the financing in place and the insurance and stuff like that, so I can take a look at one at some point and actually buy it if I want to. And then there's the third, which we're going to look at today, the e-sole. But the biggest con will be for me the design, not because I actually like the design. I think the front looks really good, and I also like the design from the side, but the rear design, okay, it's not maybe the most beautiful, but there are many other cars that's just as ugly. I know design is a personal thing, it's a personal taste thing, but my concern about the design is maybe if I want to sell the car again, I might have a problem, because it doesn't seem like the Danes like the design, and then I could end up with a car that I can't sell or have to sell for a really low value. And the price on the e-sole and the e-Niro, if you fully load both cars, it's the same. It costs the same. So price point and design are the biggest cons for me at the moment, and now I have to check out the car to see if there are other cons. But at the moment, it's those are the cons about this car. But I will get into the dealership and hopefully get some keys. I will have to check out the trunk. I brought a suitcase because that's important for me. You know from my previous videos from the Kona and the e-Niro, I will make the suitcase test to see if my suitcase can be there for my vacation trips, and then I'm okay. Now I'm inside. I drove the car a little bit from the parking place. This is the highest trim in Denmark. I'm not sure about how much of the extra this car has, but I'm starting at the back seat, and the front, the driver's seat is in my driving position, and I am 180 centimeters, around 6 foot, and yeah, as you can see, I have some knee rooms left, lots more space compared to the Kona, a little less compared to the e-Niro, but the e-Niro is really big, and I think this is more or less maybe a little bit smaller than the Model 3, but it's definitely acceptable, and I could use this. I can have my feet, it's difficult to show, but I can have my feet underneath the seat, as I position the seat anyway. If I lower the seat, of course, it could be a problem. One thing that I'm a bit I don't understand is there is no armrest in the center. I was pretty sure that was supposed to be an armrest, but there's no armrest. This one has heated seat in the back. That's not a standard in all trim levels here in Denmark, but it's an option you can buy for the trim levels, at least at the 64 kilowatt battery. You can get this car with the 39 and the 64 kilowatt battery, but the smaller batteries are just not interesting for me. But there's like a room here. One thing I do like compared to the Niro is that you have a USB port here in the trunk. There are space for my suitcase. It's big enough for my suitcases. I just brought one, but I can see it's fine. There are no 12-volt sockets in the back, but it's prepared. I know in some countries there are 12-volt sockets in the trunk. But let's get in the front seat and check it out. One of the big differences between the e-Niro, the Kona, and this car is this comes with the updated instrument cluster with a much bigger digital screen, and also this has the 10-inch infotainment system. That is actually really that looks really nice. And the car seller here, my friend here at the car dealer, he said that it's rare that he thinks, oh, this is really good in a car, because he sells cars every day. But this was a nice surprise for him too. So it got the big screen, and I'm not going to mess a lot around with it, but it has more space than my present in the Niro. This also has the Harman Kardon sound system, and I can see it has electrical operated driver's seat, and then it will have it in the passenger seat too. The climate control, it's a one-zone climate control, but again with the driver-only option, which is fantastic. And I don't understand why the Tesla doesn't have a driver-only option. In the big battery cars here in Denmark, they all come with a heat pump. That's a big plus for this car. And you have a USB, and a 12-volt socket here. You have this has cooled and ventilated and heated front seats. You have driver modes and some other stuff. And this gear, let's call it gear, the shifter. It's actually really cool, and it takes like 2 seconds to get used to it. Double cup holders and decent size, and a big storage area here. The door pockets are not that big actually, and if I compare to the Nero, the cabin quality, the material quality is not as good as in the Nero, but it looks more posh than the Kona. So this is somewhere between the Kona and the e-Nero. The center has this round shape, and I think again this is a lot about design. You know, either you like this or you don't. I don't think there is like a middle thing. I think it's okay. It's cool. It suits the car because this is supposed to be some kind of funky urban city car. So it suits the car. But in a Nero, I don't think it would fit. But this is a really special design and made to stand out. This is not a standard car. This is made to stand out. You have room for sunglasses up here, which is nice, and the Model 3 doesn't have that. Do you have again? Yeah, look, not LED bulbs. It's so, I don't get the Koreans on this point. It's prepared with an SOS. Actually, at the moment, you don't get app support on this car in Denmark. But as far as I have been able to research, it's a matter of the app is not available. The car is actually ready for it, but the app is not released. So the car can do it, but we cannot get the app. Yeah. But I hope that it will be fixed soon, because the facelifted plug-in hybrids and hybrid cars will have app support, and they come here in the next 3-4 months or something like that, according to what I've heard. Steering wheel feels nice, leather, and yeah, everything is actually, it's okay. One thing I have to, if you remember from my Kona review, I complained a little bit about this when I was resting my car. It was really hard, and I saw a German review, where he talked about this too. So I will test this out, because I'm going out on a ride now, and I maybe film a little bit from the ride, but probably not a lot. I don't have a mount for this phone. I'm using my phone now for recording this video, so so I won't. Oh no, not that one. This one. I won't be filming a lot. Oh yeah, and this has the HUD, and I know it's a cheap HUD compared to if it's really projected onto the front screen window, but actually, who cares? It works. You can see the things you need to see. But I will take this car out for a test. One of the things I'm really curious about is the noise levels at motorway speeds. So that is one of the things I'm really going to test. So let me get the car on the road, and I'll be back. Okay, so we're driving now, 80 kilometers an hour. I think actually one of the things I've noticed straight away is there are quite a lot of sound from the wheels. The wheel sound, even at 50 kilometers, are pretty high compared to the other cars I've been driving. Now I'm starting on a little smaller road just to check out how agile the car is, and it's really fun to drive. It takes corners really well. It's not a sports car, and I'm pretty sure the Model 3 will drive be more fun and more agile. But this is not bad. This is not bad for a car like this. It's really windy today, which is actually fine, because that will be then I really can test out how this boxy car handles on motorway in windy conditions, and that's important for me here in Denmark. Not a lot of wind noise, and of course the system, the lane keeping system, the lane following assist on this car actually is really good. It auto steer really good, and the adaptive cruise control is just as good as any others, I think. But I will drive a little bit further and get to the motorway and then talk there. Now this car has the same pedal shifters as the Kona and the Niro, and they are really good, you know, for the regeneration, and you can actually brake the car on the left one. I really like that. Now we are on the motorway, 110 kilometers an hour, and it's rather windy, but the wind noise is actually not that bad, and it's really it's rather windy today, so it should produce some noise. Of course, because of the wind noise is higher on the motorway, the wheel noise is less important here. But let's try to get a little bit more speed. Now we go to 120 kilometers. The speed limit is 130 kilometers here in Denmark. I will normally just drive the 110. That's my normal speed, also in Megatron. Okay, then a little more wind noise, of course, but not more than in the e-Niro, for instance. And I'm pretty sure wind noise, when we talk about this, the Model 3 will have some too. So we go to the 130 kilometers. Yeah, there are wind noise, of course. This is not an Audi e-tron, but it's not too bad actually, and the car handles well so far. But I will drive a little bit further and talk to you later. Okay, I'm almost back at the dealership, but I thought I would stop before and finish this video. I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised about how comfortable I sit in this car, how nimble the car drives, and stable at the motorway, even with the wind we have today, it is really windy. And I was thinking, okay, maybe this car won't be fun in windy condition. Maybe it will, you know, not be stable on the road, but it feels really solid on the road. I have a piece of paper, some notes, because this car has to be compared a lot with the Niro because it's same factory, and many of the things are the same. Size-wise, this is actually 55 kilograms lighter compared to the Niro. This is, let me see, it's 18 centimeters shorter. It's 3.5 centimeters higher, but the wheelbase is 10 centimeters shorter, and I think that explains a lot why actually the room for the backseat passengers are so good compared to the 18 centimeters is pretty much in shorter, but only 10 in the wheelbase. That's rather nice. Let me see, the luggage volume is 315 liters in this, and 451 in the e-Niro. But to be honest, I don't really see the trunk area as a problem for me. But that's a personal thing, and you have to check it out yourself. Is it big enough for your needs, or do you need a bigger trunk? For my need, it's okay. So this car is actually this is a pleasant surprise, especially the steering, the handling, the driver position is really pleasant. The price is, I think I said it before, but the price is the same as for the e-Niro. If you load it with everything, then it's more or less the same price, and a lot more expensive compared to the Kona. But again, the Kona is a no-go because of the lack of room in the backseat for me, so I shouldn't actually compare with the Kona. But if you can live with, if you have really small children and you're going to change the car before your children grows up and become teenagers, I think the Kona is the best buy because of here in Denmark at least, because of the price. But many good things about this car. The infotainment screen is nice. The sound system is nice. The car drives nice, accelerates fine. It's not a Tesla crazy acceleration, but it's nice and it's fast enough. You can overtake whatever you want, no problems. It's agile. This is in many ways a good car. I do miss the armrest in the back seat, and I really don't get why. It of course it depends on the country and regions you live in, but apparently in Denmark you're not going to get it. But I've seen it in videos on YouTube, so it's possible otherwhere in the world. I do like they have the USB port for the back seat at the back seat instead of in the little room. Storage room under the armrest. That is more convenient, but material quality, yeah, it's not the best plastic. I agree completely about that, but it looks okay, and personally I don't touch my car all the time, so it doesn't really matter if it's hard or soft plastic that much. But the quality, I feel it's a nice, decent quality. No, it's not a luxury car. It's not the quality of the Tesla Model 3 materials in the cabin is really good compared to this. But yeah, it's a hard choice. I think I will talk with the dealer because we got, I think, 12 cars to the country in the first order, and I think there are 2 left. I will ask him what the colors are, because this car is in silver, and that's really boring. If you're going to buy this car, you need a nice color. The red or the blue, perhaps. Those are really great colors, and make some pang. This is a car that you can have in some fresher colors, I think, because the design is so special. It needs to have a special color too, not just a boring silver or white or black. That's my personal opinion. But enough rambling. I think I will cut it here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to make any comments about the e-Soul and my search for maybe an EV at some point. Tell me what you think about the EV market. Should I wait? A lot of EVs are coming, some this year and some next year. The Volkswagen are finally starting to make EVs, and their ID3, I think it's called, has been released for pre-order. It took 5 days here in Denmark, and then it was sold out, and I think it's sold out worldwide. But the problem for me with the Volkswagen is it looks, even that no one has actually seen it, and we don't really have a lot of spec and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it will be a great car, but I'm also pretty sure it's going to look a lot like a Golf, and I think those cars are so boring. I really think they are boring to look at. The design is meh. Yeah. My Nero is so much better design-wise. No, so I'm out of the game. I didn't want to pay, to pay the deposit for a car that I had no idea what would end up costing, and the specs or anything. It's okay if people want to do that, but I won't. I won't let Volkswagen keep my money for almost a year, and then when the final specs and pictures and design and price arrives, and I say, okay, this is not the car for me, then they had my money for that long. No, that's not going to happen. And many of the other EVs coming this year and next year are smaller cars, like the Peugeot 208 in an EV version. The Citroen DS3, I think, is coming in an all EV car, and Opel Corsa is coming as an all EV, but those are smaller cars and they are too small for me. If it was for my wife, the Honda E-Type, isn't it? The Honda E, the electric Honda, the small city car that looks absolutely stunning. I really think it's a fantastic fun car to see, and also the interior is really fresh from what I'm seeing. But they are just too small cars. It's not just about the range, it's also about, they are just too small. So for me, actually the Volkswagen would be an option, and then Volvo has announced that they will be launching the XC40 in a completely EV version next year too. I don't know about prices, but and to be honest, when you have a petrol car and you make it into an EV car, there are some compromises. Like also in the Niro, the Soul, the Kona, you don't utilize the space in the front. For instance, there's no fronts in these cars because they were built and designed to have a petrol engine too, and that's a bit of a shame, I think. They lack those, so there will be some cons from the Volvo, but Volvo is really that's a luxury car, and would like to check that out. But yeah, I don't know if I end up waiting because I'm not really into any of the cars available at the moment, or don't want to wait for the delivery, because if I don't if I want the Soul and I don't want one of the two that they have left, then I have to wait 9-12 months again. And then since the price is the same for the e-Niro, I think the e-Niro would be a better choice. But I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this short review of the e-Soul. If you want further information about it, there are other YouTubers that have made video about this car. I just pinpointed some of the most interesting things for me, so it's not a complete review. You can find that somewhere else, and a lot of the things in this car is the same as in the Kona and the Niro. So yeah, infotainment and stuff like that, it's the same. So again, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and please leave a comment if you have some interesting thoughts. And then I see you soon. Bye bye.